Hey, good Wednesday morning to you. Thanks for joining us on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Michelle Beck. Developing this morning, federal child care payments to Minnesota are frozen after a viral video allegedly revealing daycare fraud in our state. A post from the Deputy Secretary of Health and Human Services, or HHS, names a conservative YouTuber who went viral over claims of daycare fraud in Minnesota. Plus, the HHS official said so himself. The state has, quote, allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade. Governor Walz calls this Trump's long game. The Walz administration now having to respond to federal demands for audits, plus new rules that all child care payments to states must first come with receipts or photo evidence. All this, of course, on top of that funding freeze.
My office, ACF, provides Minnesota $185 million in child care funds each year. That money should be helping 19,000 American children, including toddlers and infants. Any dollar stolen by fraudsters is stolen from those children.
And now today at 2:30, child care providers will be among those at a press conference at the state capitol. In their notice to media, they called out child care, that it's been made into a political football, in their words, to bolster the careers of certain politicians. Developing this morning, community leaders are urging Native American women to be on alert over reports addicts are being promised treatment out of state that does not exist. The Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center says it's unclear how many people are being transported, but they call the pattern alarming. It's similar to a scam in Arizona that was uncovered several years ago, costing taxpayers billions of dollars and leading to the deaths of many Native Americans. Reva Stewart helped expose the fraud when she saw white vans picking people up at nearby parks.
It's really frustrating because you're in this hamster wheel of how can we stop this?
As for Minnesota, officials say the only trusted medical providers are White Earth and the Native American Community Clinic, asking people to say something if they see something suspicious. Now, KARE 11 has been at the forefront of fraud in government programs. Our investigative reporters have exposed it and been reporting on it for years. That is all on KARE11.com under the fraud coverage tab. A judge has decided how much money Amy Bach, the mastermind behind the massive Feeding Our Future fraud scheme, will have to pay back. Bach is the former executive director of Feeding Our Future and was convicted of facilitating the theft of $240 million meant to feed children in need during the pandemic. The judge entered a money judgment for $5.2 million that Bach directly or indirectly received from the fraud. Bach's sentencing date has not been set yet. And this morning, House Democrats are demanding answers from the White House after President Trump acknowledged a U.S. strike inside Venezuela. The president saying Monday the U.S. hit a big facility where drugs were being loaded onto boats, but offered no additional details. NBC's Bianca Fascini has the latest from Washington.
Members of Congress demanding answers from President Trump after he announced a land-based strike on Venezuela.
I consider that a military act and a potential act of war, and the president needs to be talking to the Congress.
The president said the strike targeted a docking facility used by boats carrying drugs.
They load the boats up with drugs, so we hit all the boats, and now we hit the area. It's the implementation area. That's where they implement, and that is no longer around.
It's the latest move carried out by the U.S. against Venezuela since September, when the Trump administration started launching strikes against Venezuelan boats that they say were trafficking drugs. But this strike is making members in both parties concerned.
They've been very clear about targeting these drug boats, so we have clear information there. But threatening Venezuela itself they've been very cryptic and very, I would say, unclear with what they're trying to do there.
The Venezuelan government has yet to comment on the land strike, but President Trump says he spoke with President Nicolas Maduro recently without elaborating much.
I spoke to him recently, pretty recently. But nothing much comes of it.
It remains unclear if anyone in Congress was notified ahead of time, but since this move was carried out by the CIA as opposed to the military, the administration did not seek permission from Congress to conduct it. According to one source familiar with the matter, House Democrats have requested that the White House provide a briefing to all relevant committees on the strike. So we could find out more details about exactly what happened, but it's still unclear what the potential endgame is for the administration here. Back to you.
Happening now, a lot of people are not getting their flu shots. Dr. Michael Osterholm, an epidemiologist and infectious disease expert, says that could put you at risk as millions of people travel for the holidays.
Well, let me say that really the flu season is just getting started. So I think it's really hard to say exactly what it's going to look like. Right now, as we stand today, we're about 3 million doses short of administering vaccine than we were a year ago at the same time. About 2.1 million people who would have gotten it at their doctor's office have not. And so it's not too late to get your flu shot, but I'm talking about hours to a few days to get it because this is wiping through. So I hope one message that comes away from this, it's not too late. Please get your flu shot if you haven't. It could be the difference from keeping you out of the hospital or dying.
Here are the latest flu numbers in Minnesota. New ones come out every Thursday. So far, there have been nearly 1,100 hospitalizations for flu across the entire state, nearly 130 school outbreaks as well. Now, at this point, there have been no pediatric deaths related to the flu in Minnesota. Right now, the CDC is reporting flu activity is going up with 7.5 million cases of the flu this season. Right now, applications are open for Minnesota's new paid leave program. It begins just after the new year, but they opened applications early. The paid leave program offering workers up to 12 weeks for family leave, 12 weeks for medical leave, or 20 weeks for a combination of both. Funded by a payroll tax, it covers partial wages depending on income. When paid leave passed in 2023, it was considered a signature achievement by the DFL-controlled legislature. While the Walz administration celebrated the start of the program yesterday, the Minnesota Chamber of Commerce says it's hearing concerns from businesses about the new mandate.
I'm proud to say that paid leave is open now, and we invite people to apply starting tomorrow because we are ready.
There's a lot of anxiety about the impact on workplaces and individual operations, particularly amongst manufacturers.
Minnesota will become the 13th state with some form of paid leave program. Right now in St. Paul, crews are still working to clear snow from streets across the city. A snow emergency is in effect, so if your car is parked on a snow emergency route, move it or you could get ticketed and your car could get towed. In Minneapolis, the snow emergency there has expired. Now, if you plan to go out for New Year's Eve, Metro Transit wants to help you get home safely. They're providing free rides starting at 6 p.m., so just make sure you plan accordingly. Here's a look at their routes. On the Blue Line, the final northbound trip will leave Mall of America Station at 12:10 a.m., and the last southbound trips will leave Target Field Station at 12:30 and 1:05. Over on the Green Line, the final eastbound trips leave Target Field Station at 12:35 and 1:30, while the last westbound trip leaves Union Depot Station at 12:30. And now to the World Junior Championship, a special tradition 50 years strong. But in a time where politics and economics are dividing nations, are international fans making the trip to watch like years before? Our Gordon Severson checked out a few games to find out.
With the World Junior Championship, the host country always sees the highest attendance numbers, and we are definitely seeing that again this year, with the average U.S. game so far bringing in about 14,000 fans. But like with previous tournaments, we are also seeing a huge drop-off when it comes to every other team in the tournament. The home ice advantage is strong at Grand Casino Arena, with ticket sales for Team USA games outpacing international games nearly 4-1.
You know, the attendance is what we thought it would be.
John Klinkenberg with Minnesota Sports and Events says it's unclear if international relations, especially with Canada, are having any effect on ticket sales.
It seems to be building as Canada is continuing to perform well. The enthusiasm around that team is picking up.
According to the International Ice Hockey Federation, the average Team Sweden game is actually drawing more fans than the Canadian games, with around 4,700 fans at the average Team Canada game so far, which is significantly lower than the 18,000 fans per game last year when Canada hosted the tournament, and the 8,700 fans per game when Sweden hosted the tournament 2 years ago. But it's not exactly an apples-to-apples comparison because there are countless other factors like team matchups, arena capacity, and weather, just to name a few. Overall, ticket sales for the tournament so far are lagging behind the tournament in Canada last year, but sales are higher than they were in Sweden 2 years ago.
It's been really fantastic.
Jamie Lucky Hendrickson with Visit St. Paul says hotel and restaurant owners are reporting a strong surge in business, and they're happy with the turnout so far.
You know, in terms of restaurant activity, it's very similar to like when there's a Wild game.
Tournament organizers are also expecting to see a sold-out crowd on New Year's Eve when Team USA takes on Team Sweden, and they are expecting to see higher ticket sales as we move further into the tournament.
Our Fan Fest, our Bold North Breakaway, has been averaging an attendance of 3,000 to 4,000 people per day, which is outstanding. It's just going to continue to build.
Gordon Severson, KARE 11 News.
And we wrap our New Year's Eve show with this. On the other side of the world, it is already 2026. Australia and New Zealand sending 2025 off with a massive fireworks show, some of the first in the world to do it. Stick with us. More news and weather coming up after the break.